I'm pretty excited about this topic as entrepreneurship is something which is so close to my heart. In the next few minutes, we are going to go through 3 stories. I know it has been a long day, so much of information, but only 3 stories, not more than that. Are we ready? Come on, I heard Romanians have energy and power. Once more, are we ready? Yes. That's like it. Okay, let's start with the story of the light bulb. In the year 1906, there was a young man named Edwin C. Barnes. Edwin C. Barnes had this really motivational and really inspirational drive. But he was super poor, really poor. And he took one day a train from Middleton to New Jersey in USA. He took his 2 suits which he had in his back and put on his tapered suit and took the train. In New Jersey, he got down on the platform, took out on his paper in his pocket, he had written down an address. He took that and looked around New Jersey to find the address. It took him a few hours and he reached this particular house which he was looking for. And he reaches, checks from his pocket, checks the house, puts the paper inside, takes a deep breath, and knocks on the door. Inside, there is a big, large man wearing a shiny suit, old gray hair, and he opens the door and he asks him, "Yes, how can I help you?" "Edwin." "Good morning, Mr. Edison. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm here to build a partnership with you and help grow your business." Edwin C. Barnes had just asked the greatest inventor of their times, actually, Thomas Alva Edison. And Edison didn't look here or there. He looked straight into his eyes, directly into his eyes. Behind, Edison's colleagues were laughing and smiling at this crazy guy. But Edison looked just into this guy's eye. And I invited him inside. They had a discussion. And after the discussion, Edison agreed. Edison gave him a job, but not as a partner, as a floor sweeper. Edwin saw this opportunity as an opening door towards the partnership, and he grabbed it with both hands. And he said, "Yes, I will do that." Now, months passed by, weeks passed by, years passed by. There's literally nothing is changing. He's still sweeping the floors, helping Edison here and there. And Edison, all this while, is working on a project which he had been working for years and years. But after a couple of years, Edison completes this project. It's called the dictating phone, which during those times was pretty unique because you could record your voice and it would play it back to you. Edison was so much motivated that he was crazy. He was completely insane. He was going to a salesperson and saying that, "Yes, we are going to create this revolution. We are going to market this product." And his salespeople weren't motivated. They didn't show this. They said that this is not going to be sold. This is not going to happen. Edwin saw this opportunity and he went and grabbed it. He went and prepared a marketing proposal. He prepared a business plan. He went and showed it to Edison. Edison loved it. And then Edison allowed him to sell the products. Edwin put his all energy, started selling them one by one. Over a couple of months, he was selling them at such a rate that he had to create his own company. And he named it Edwin C. Barnes and Brothers. Stupid name, but that was it. He created this company, and upon creating this company, he had to officially get into a partnership with Edison and get its exclusive rights to selling the dictating phone. And guess what did he name and market the products after after he created the company. Built by Edison, installed by Barnes, Edwin C. Barnes. That is the power of desire. That is the power of having courage. Who amongst us would have the courage over here to go to Elon Musk today and tell him that we want to get into a partnership with him and agree to be a floor sweeper and work all these years to be a partner with him? That is the power of having the courage, having the desire to build your dream company. And that is the first pillar of something I like to call the entrepreneurship triangle, which is have your courage to make your dream come true. And once you have your courage, you can take it to the next step. And how do you take it? You create your strategy. You see, entrepreneurship, a lot of people say, is about making money. It is. Money is a byproduct of entrepreneurship. But I believe entrepreneurship is knowing what gifts you have and giving it to the world, in turn creating value mutually. And creating a company today or getting into entrepreneurship today is easier than ever. You'd see in this technical error, but it's fine. Can I get the graph? Shit, you know the story. But it's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's get back to this. If you see this graph, you would see that from 1994 to 2018, this is the number of companies started in USA, which are startups. That has increased per year by 48%. 48%, and it is increasing and increasing. Today, all you need is a laptop, computer, mobile phone, internet, and some brains to make your dream come true, your dream company come true. I have had clients one of my clients in Amsterdam, they have a physical product, and upon building this physical product, they needed help with marketing. They wanted to sell it online. One of the first questions I asked them was, do you plan to sell this offline also or only online? And they said, we are in the 21st century. We are in the age of internet. We don't need a physical store. We don't need a physical place to market our products. We would sell it online. I was surprised at first. Later on, I was delighted to see what opportunities we have today, that a company which is selling physical products is not ready to open a physical store. And they are completely betting on online. And their bet was right. In a year, we helped it raise and generate a revenue of 7 figures in a year, in euros. And that is the power we have today. Let it be a product-based company, let it be a service-based company. In service-based, one of my clients, he travels all around the world. He's a life coach, and he has a 7-figure business. In product-based, another client, which I just mentioned to you, they are a product-based company, creating this online ecosystem and online revenue. So the opportunities are endless today. It's just that you need to decide what strategy, what positioning, what path do you need. Is it a service-based? Is it a product-based? And once you have your courage, once you have your strategy in place, then comes something which probably Jim Rohn tells more eloquently than I would ever tell, which is your formal education will make you a living, but your self-education, your self-learning will make you a fortune. With a show of hands, who over here knows this guy, John Combe? Anyone? No one. Okay, a few, I think, are there. So John Combe was born in the communist Ukraine, and at the age of 7, he and his mother had to migrate to California in USA. And they were so poor that he couldn't afford formal education over there. So John was learning on his own by reading books and articles and just self-learning everything. And slowly he started getting interested in computers. He started learning coding. Around the same time, his half of the family was in Ukraine. So they always communicated, but on phone. And when they communicated on phone, John was always wary that their phones are being tapped, because it wasn't normal to talk from USA to USSR. And that stayed at the back of his mind. Over the years, after self-learning and after learning computers, coding, he became really good at it. He became so good at it that Yahoo hired him as a coder, as a developer in the team. And he joined. And after joining Yahoo, he was always working pretty good, but at the back of his mind, he always had that desire, that passion to change and make an impact in the communication. So when the opportunity came, he built an app which was completely encrypted. No one could track it, no one could tap it. And he learned and built this app and called it WhatsApp. I think a lot of people over here would use it. WhatsApp was sold to Facebook for $17 billion a few years back. That is the power of self-education. That right there. And that is the third pillar of the entrepreneurship triangle, where you have your courage, you have your strategy, and then you learn and develop. And this feeds into itself. It's not only one single pillar, where you learn and then build your courage, build your strategy. And the best thing is that this framework is different for each and every person in this room, each and every person in this world, regardless of if you're siblings. And if you are 2 siblings, 3 siblings, for example, if you have siblings, 2 siblings, 3 siblings, your mom, your parents would never ever come and say, you both are same, you both should wear the same clothes, you both should be the same. They would never say that, regardless of how many siblings you have. And I'm from India. Trust me, that number can really go high. But this is something which is different and unique to each person. For example, for me, my courage was leaving my corporate job, leaving my country, and coming and setting and building a business in Amsterdam. My strategy was building a consulting business, building a speaking business. And my self-learning, I just registered for a storytelling workshop, and now I would register for a lot more workshops. This is for me. This would be different for you. Your courage, your strategy, your self-learning would be different. But this framework would be applicable. It's applicable to me, it would be applicable to you. And as Mark Twain once said, that to get ahead in life, you just need to get started. I hope this helps you get started. Thank you.